Hello everyone and welcome back to TCW as we continue with more tag action coming at you. The first tag team will be the tag of Bret and Owen Hart, the Hart brothers, who won last week when they faced the original New Orient Express. And another tag team coming off a win is the Bleached Beast, the tag team of Hulk Hogan and Dusty Rhodes. Both tag teams putting themselves in very good position to compete for the now vacant tag titles. Those tag titles will very likely be put on the line at our very first pay-per-view, which will be announced next week. So stay tuned for that. Keep your eyes peeled. Now our remaining matches on the card rather are both heavyweight or ultimate title tournament matches, as Brody will face Heading and Omega will face Tanahashi in the main event. So stay tuned for that matchup, as it should be very intriguing to say the least. This matchup, for sure, one of the more intriguing tag matchups. You will find two of the biggest faces in Jim Crockett promotion and WWF in the 80s teaming against two of the biggest wrestling stars in the 90s who hail from Canada, both a part of the Hart dynasty, who certainly have years upon years of tag experience. Can Hulk and Dusty overcome that experience in this matchup? Also, looking from the Hart's perspective, can they overcome the size and strength disadvantage with their technical ability? Very different styles in this matchup. It'll be interesting to see who takes the victory home. And just a retrospective of the events that occurred earlier in tonight's card, as we are essentially at the halfway point. We had a tremendous opening matchup as Piper and the Great Muta went to a time limit draw with each other after both Savage and Pentagon Jr. were eliminated from that fatal foursome matchup. In the second match, we saw the Blade Runners defeat Okada and Omega, the team being billed as the New Orient Express 2. And then Inoki would defeat Ric Flair via submission in match 3. Inoki certainly looked very promising and scary, to say the least, in that matchup. And I mean, despite the fact that the Ultimate Warrior eliminated him from the Ultimate title tournament, he should be definitely in the title mix, you know. I mean, he is one of the most well-rounded, brutal, violent, hard to defeat competitors on the TCW roster. Nice elbow there by Brett, and he already has a figure four leg lock applied to Dusty, but that has definitely not been the first time he has seen that maneuver after his wars with Ric Flair. Great elbow there by Brett. Bulldog by Brett. This is perhaps going to be one of the tag rivalries that will last for quite a while. These are surely two of the best tag teams in TCW. The Blade Runners, who won their tag match, will be unable to compete in tag action, as the Warrior will be continuing in the tag, or in the Ultimate Title Tournament rather. Hogan going to the top and dropping a knee on Owen. Owen looks like he's in trouble. He's gonna have to find a way to make it back to Brett in the corner, and he does. And look at that move as Hulk throws Brett throat first onto the top rope. Quite a smart maneuver, and will set up very nicely for the atomic leg drop and a power slam in the middle of the ring as Hulk goes for a pin, and Owen, I believe he just barely got there to break that up. And a stunner of sorts by Brett as he went for a pin in the ropes. I mean, the longer this match goes, I would have to say the more advantage goes to the Hart brothers, as Bret Hart locks on a sharpshooter and Dusty has seen enough and decides to break it up. He's going to land a bionic elbow on Owen, who has been, it looks like, knocked out cold in the corner. Can Bret Hart finish the matchup on behalf of the team? It's a 2-on-1 now, as Owen lays motionless and he looks injured. Nice elbow there by Dusty. And Brett pinning Dusty, nearly picked up the win on his own. This has been a great matchup so far, but you have to wonder, how is Brett going to be able to win this match without a tag team partner? Nice clothesline there by Brett. He's sending Dusty to the corner. His ring awareness is on point. He is isolating Dusty in the corner, but these odds are going to be hard to overcome. Elbow there by Dusty. Knocks Brett down. A double axe handle to the back. And the ref did not see a low blow there by Brett. He rolls up Dusty, but he's too close to Hogan, as he's going to break that up every time. You have to be pulling for Brett in some fashion, just because the odds are stacked against him. A double arm DDT by Brett. It's going to give him the breather he needs. You have to remember, if he locks on that sharpshooter, the match could be over in an instant. But my concern rests with Owen at this point. I mean, is he all right? After he seemingly got knocked out cold by that bionic elbow by Dusty. The Bulldog lands by Dusty on the Brett. Certainly a dream matchup in some fashion as he applies the sharpshooter. Dusty is able to hang in there long enough for Hulk to break it up. You have to think Brett at this point is probably just hoping to last 9.5 minutes so that this matchup becomes a time limit draw. I'm sure he would take that for sure at this point, but 9.5 minutes, now 8, certainly feel like an eternity facing the likes of Dusty and Hogan. Quite frankly, I am surprised he has been able to hang in there for this long, as both teams trying to keep their undefeated streak intact. Again, our next matchup will be Bruiser Brody versus Mr. Perfect Curt Hennig, and what will be a very compelling clash of styles, to be sure. Stay tuned for that. And then our main event, Kenny Omega versus Tanahashi, as Ace goes against Ace. And a roll up there by Brett, but Hogan able to break it up. Can Brett beat the clock? So he's been fighting an uphill battle here for over 10 minutes. As Owen has lie motionless in the corner after a bionic elbow from Dusty. Brett more than holding his own though. And the tag of Hulk Hogan and Dusty are able to take home the victory in just over 25 minutes. All the credit in the world should go to Bret Hart, however, as he was able to stick it out for quite a while on his own. So again, we still have the Brody and Perfect match. And then after that, our main event, Omega versus Tanahashi. So make sure to stay tuned for those Ultimate title matchups.